Hello, I talk about cardiometabolic risks and severity of obesity in children and young adults. My name is Carla Carrillo. My teacher is Joan Moscoso. Definition: obesity is chronic disease characterized by increased adipose tissue caused by the imbalance between energy ingested in food and energy removed, leading to a high degree of inflammation and oxidation.
Obesity has become a problem among Americans of all ages, including young adults. If these young obese people don't lose weight, they could be putting themselves at risk for a host of health problems as the years go by. I'm Erin White with your latest health news. A recent study found that people who were obese in early adulthood were at greater risk of becoming severely obese after age 35 than their normal weight peers. The research showed that losing weight, regardless of the length of obesity, lowered the risks for heart disease and diabetes. Speak with a doctor about the best weight loss program for you.
Application in medicine. What more sympathetic came on our cardiovascular health? The classic factors of risk: hypertension, smoking, cholesterol, hyperglycemia, between among others. Today, vascular inflammation, stress, one knows that they produce vascular heart damage because they produce the simultaneous activation of the three pneumometa physiopathology and in advance of that status of the disease of four phenomena appears: the activation of the coagulation because of in thrombi hyper is in more advanced place of for it there appears the heart attack of myocardium and the ictus. Factors of risk: cardiometabolic due to the fact that children and adult young persons were evaluated. The authors examined the variables that associate the
Welcome to Insider Medicine in Depth. I'm Dr. Susan Sharma. For youth to obtain the most health benefits from physical activity, it needs to be high intensity, according to research published online ahead of print in the Archives of Pediatric and Adolescent Medicine. Some examples of high intensity physical activities enjoyed by young people include skipping rope, playing tag, and skating briskly. Researchers from the Manitoba Institute of Child Health in Winnipeg assessed the relationship between various levels of physical activity and risk factors for cardiovascular and metabolic health among more than 600 youths aged 9 to 17. The participants wore a device known as an accelerometer to measure their levels of physical activity, and the investigators measured their height to weight ratio, waist circumference, blood pressure, and respiratory fitness. As the youth's level of vigorous physical activity increased, their height for weight, waist circumference, and blood pressure all dropped, and their respiratory fitness went up. This effect was only seen for vigorous and not more moderate levels of activity. Engaging in more than 7 minutes of vigorous physical activity daily was associated with a 44% reduced risk of being overweight and a 64% reduced risk of having high blood pressure. The more intense and frequent the physical activity, the lower the risk of excess weight and high blood pressure. Today's research suggests that young people should be encouraged to regularly engage in high-intensity physical activities. For Insider Medicine in Depth, I'm Dr. Susan Sharma.
Pros and cons. Deficient functioning of the body, life expectation, or it can cause the death. It is not a recent phenomenon. Cons. It does not produce necessarily a deficient functioning of the body, result of sedentary ways of life. Things impede to sleep, to snore, apnea on having slept, pain in the back and or in the joints, excessive sweat to feel health always.
Childhood obesity is a condition in which the child is particularly overweight, and this is measured for the weight and the height comparison. If the weight is particularly more for the height in the child at a particular age, it is contributing towards obesity. The doctor will sometimes calculate the body mass index, called as BMI, to ascertain the severity of the overweight and the obese child.
Athlete in Ecuador. In Ecuador, according to the information presented by the Department of Public Health and the Institute Native of Statistics, censored by means of the National Service of Health and Nutrition, in the group of 5 years old minor children. Conclusion. In conclusion, severe obesity in children and young adults is associated with a high prevalence of abnormal levels of cardiometabolic risk factor variables. Thank you.